Hey, and welcome to this very special cast between our two very wonderful players, Serral and Maxpax. Now, Serral was actually eliminated by Maxpax in their last tournament matchup. That game happening a few months ago now, so it's a very interesting question to wonder, is Serral going to be able to defeat Maxpax? What's this matchup going to look like now that Serral's had just a little bit more time in this specific matchup on this specific patch? Now, going for typical 3-base setup. Not mining gas, just saving it up. And oracles coming out. Very standard from both players, 29 to 26 in advantage of Serral, but in extremely fast. Oh my god, that's fast. Nexus from Maxpax. Definitely seems a little bit greedy. Now, something I'm noticing is this Overlord is really flying around. He's kind of just taken the entire circuit around the Protoss base and still scouting, just really trying to make sure that he understands what's going on. Now there's Oracle coming in here, getting 2 drones, taking quite a bit of damage from the Queens, getting 2 more, but getting away with its life. Back to the Overlord. The Overlord's, I don't know what he's looking for, but he's looking. Now this Spore Crawler is almost done. And I'm pretty sure soon we're going to have a lair, considering we have 100 gas. And I'm pretty sure speed is done. Yep. So we should have a lair any minute now. Evo chamber. Maybe a Roach Warren. Another Oracle. And we see Twilight Council and 2 gateways. Now, will it be Blink? Or are we going to see the same? No. Huh. Well, definitely nothing super aggressive considering the extra expansion. 3 oracles. That's definitely a lot. Actually targeting down the Queen. And microing away. 2 drones going down. Overlord still hanging out. And we do see Blink coming up. Also, I hope you don't guys hear that knocking back there, but hopefully it's being suppressed. +1, melee. Sniping another drone. And when are we going to see any tech from our Zerg? Huh, very interesting. No tech so far, but taking the 4th. Actually delaying the tech just a little bit. Lair, now coming down, saving up gas for quite a little bit, having 170 now. And just allowing Maxpax to actually just have this 3rd base. I wonder if we'll see some kind of timing attack and just using these extra bases, 3, 4, 5 bases, much quicker than in previous series. I wonder if we'll see them being used to just make a hydra push or something like that. Just like a very specific timing attack maybe that Serral has come up with to sort of take this out. Already coming up with this Ling little run by, but it looks like this base definitely not going to be able to survive. Getting the cancel though, thankfully. Not very many units here to deal with this push. Hydralisk Den coming down. Could just be for lurkers though. Actually, Serral, 60 workers. Now that I'm looking at it like that, it's looking a lot more like it's going to be some kind of timing attack. Especially with only 1 Evo. Serral might just be saying, heck, Protoss. Tired of Protoss. This is my solution. Some kind of timing attack. Oof. Getting away thanks to that blink and cool little stasis ward down here. But it's hard to imagine how it... Ooh, lots of Lings. Getting a wraparound on these guys with the stasis ward. Wow, great use of the stasis ward by Maxpax. In the meantime, Maxpax grabbing a 4th. Bathing speed on the way. Getting a wraparound, and these Lings are about to come out of this stasis. And that might just be enough to take these guys out. They're going to be able to blink away. And they still have more stasis. Nice job. Looks like we're just setting up for a nice old macro game. More and more bases being acquired. This one, though, in a precarious position. Zealots showing up. Maxpax already got into the infamous 4-base Protoss. Jeez. Oh my god, he just doesn't even play it out. That's it. He just calls it immediately. Infamous 4-base Protoss. It's too much to handle. No timing attack. None of that. I don't even know what his strategy is. I was grabbing for straws trying to think of something, but nothing so far, apparently. And now we find ourselves on PT Talisman. I guess just Talisman. Now, I think you can tell that Serral's got a different kind of strategy now. Compared to the last game, not trying to go for this kind of macro game. Very interesting though. I wonder what his strategy really was. Looks like he's going to be doing some kind of proxy hatch. Exactly what he's going to be doing, I'm not entirely sure. Although my theory in the last game is that he was saving up gas for like lurkers or some kind of mid-game unit and was just going to try to do some kind of push, and that's why he was saving up so much gas and actually not droning extremely hard. Now this Maxpax probably a little bit confused. Where is the expansion for Serral? Surely he knows something's up at this point. Spawning pool started. Oh, and drone pool. Definitely knows something is up. Maybe just not exactly sure where. What is the response going to be? Not building anything yet, but surely we'll start building very soon. Still putting the Nexus down. Now my question is, what are these drones going to do? Are they going to make spines or... Oh, very interesting. Serral. Actually, mining these out, probably so that the Zerg rush can occur. Oh my god, that guy can slip up there. That was really cute how he did that. Getting on the backside. And I think this is just so that Lings can flood through here. And Queens as well. Maxpax starting a shield battery. Probably going to be starting some cannons as well. Chronoing out an Adept. Serral has vision on everything. But is this response fast enough and strong enough? Queen coming out. Ooh, almost getting us around, but not quite. This might be pretty hard to break. Definitely a very unique strategy from Serral. Very excited to see how this turns out in this best of 5? I think it's a best of 7 series. Yeah, best of 7 series. More shield batteries. See a baneling nest at home. Lings running across. And here we go. Pushing up, trying to take out any units they can and destroy any of this Protoss infrastructure. That's so many Lings. Getting a wraparound on both of these shield batteries and this Adept. 2 more Adepts showing up as reinforcement. 4 more now. but both shield batteries going down. That's gotta hurt for Maxpax. You can look at the worker count. Obviously, this isn't all in just from the fact that it's a proxy hatch being committed to, but 28 workers for Max. 16 for Serral. These banelings are gonna have to do some work. Love the creep spread up here. That's gotta be so annoying. 6 adepts. Oh, not quite getting the baneling over there. Here we go. We got banelings and we got lings. Lings jumping on the probes and reinforcements in the natural. Banelings trying to detonate. Not getting any great detonations. Lings just doing tons of work. That's a lot of damage. Oh, Maxpax seems like he's running out of units. He's only got this one shield battery, and this pylon's going down. Pulling the probes to help out. Pylon not going down. That's so crucial. But these units getting surrounded on. That's the last bit of army left for Maxpax. Serral looks like he might be making it work. It's down to the probes and a couple of zealots. Now this is a game. More banelings showing up just in the nick of time. Splitting the probes. Maxpax fighting for his life. Trying to remind everyone why he won that last game. But there's just so many lings, banelings. 17 probes already going down. This looks like it's the end. GG called. 1-1. And here we are. Game 3. Wow. What a very surprising game 2. That just kind of blew my mind. Now, obviously, that is a very map-specific strategy. So we don't see any of those kind of shenanigans. This map seeming much larger as well. Serral's gonna have to show that he can handle one of these longer games, I think. Or at least pull out some kind of special timing attack. Very standard stuff. 2 gas into Stargate. Fast expand for Protoss. Pulling off the gas after metabolic boost is researched. Just so that we can get some super duper fast expands for the Zerg. And there we go. 3rd base already down. And the new, at least in my opinion, new strategy with the Overlord, characteristic of Serral, just constant scouting over here. I did not notice this in the last game. Maybe I just didn't notice it. Maybe I'm just noticing it now. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But here we go. Ah, see, I don't think that they normally seem to be making stalkers right away. Even though they do go for blink, seems like they normally make an adept first. So now we see blink. Not blink, sorry. A stalker first. Which means no adept. Serral only at 30 drones. Taking this time not to drone, but to make a little Ling rush. And I love this. I think it's so important to try and get on these hatcheries, Nexi, and deny them. This adept going down, and this Nexus. Maxpax gets the cancels, but how are you ever going to become a 4-base Protoss if you never become a 3-base Protoss? Now that's a secret. Let's see, did they get anything? No workers killed yet, but this Oracle did take a little bit of damage. Love the Ling Flood. Probably can't do it consistently, because then your opponent just starts to know that you're doing Ling Floods every time. Which is probably why we don't see Serral do it all the time. But I do love seeing it. Now, a lot of gateways being added on 1, 2, 3. Oh, even more. I have a feeling this might actually be an adept push, potentially. It just feels like a lot of gateways. So we'll have to wait and see. Twilight Council, of course, coming down, and Lair starting for our Zerg. And there you go. It's an adept push. This, it seems very strong. Oh, Zergling's back once again. Oracle here, though, this time. Prepared to kick them off. Now, yeah, I really think that these adept pushes are tough. I've seen it in other matches. I've also seen it in the match with Maxpax. I mean, there's not really a way to scout this, or at least, Serral hasn't, like, made an overseer and ran it in there, so Serral has no idea this is coming. Unless he's just intuiting it. But look at that. Roach Warren. Early Roach Warren. That might just be what we need to see if Serral's going to survive against this strategy. I like that. 1 Evo coming down. 4th grabbed. And looks like a Hydralisk Den is going to be starting. 66 workers for Serral. So Serral has managed to drone. Definitely just was a little slow at first because of that large production of lings. You wouldn't think it would affect you that much, but oh my god, Goliath reconstitution. So we're seeing 2 players doing rushes. I don't think you normally do Goliath reconstitution if you're going roaches against Protoss. At least I haven't seen Serral do that unless he's also doing a rush. But in this case, it's going to be perfect because it's going to be so helpful against these adepts. Lots of queens. Already pulling them back. Oh, and already got a wall off made. Perfect. Can't even get in there. I think he could have targeted this down, but maybe he just didn't feel like it was safe. That's already huge, because that means that... Sorry about the little bit of interruption, but there were some noises going on, and I had to pause real quick, but let's get right back into it. Okay, so this attack from Maxpax looks like not going to be working out because Serral was already doing his own rush, producing roaches, even Goliath reconstitution, preparing for an attack on the Protoss, trying to continue the pressure that he'd created earlier and extending it, and just so happened to time up at the exact same time as this glaive adept push. So now the question becomes, can Serral turn this into something more? Already has a nice lead. Seems like Serral already planning for that, sending overlords across the map. Looking at the upgrades, we definitely don't have dropper lords. So what these overlords are going to be doing is somewhat of a mystery, but we've definitely got lots of roaches. Actually, looks like a creep highway leading to the 3rd base of Maxpax. This is a very serious attack, and it's coming very quickly and very heavily, equaled up in worker counts. But if you ask me, I don't think Serral is slowing down anytime soon. I think Serral just wants to end this game, doing lots of damage to that Nexus. The roaches slightly thinned out, maybe not boding exactly well, but destroying this Nexus critical to the success of Serral's army. Maxpax relegated to 2 base mining. It doesn't matter if you have 63 workers, if you only have 2 bases to mine on this. Look at these probes, desperate, this fight continuing on. Maxpax is going to need to repel this entire Zerg army if he's going to survive, but it looks like the Stalker army is just getting smaller and smaller. The Zerg army literally at the gates. Maxpax is going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat if he's going to actually push away the Zerg army. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like some chance you hole up in your base and you just try to survive? Or maybe you try to sneak another base somewhere else on the map. But it's going to be very difficult. Serral obviously very well experienced. And just like that, here we go. Another base coming down. Sneaky little base. Will Serral scout it? Definitely containing the center. Serral adding on a hydra den, which is finishing very soon. Going to just try to add on more units, maybe even tech up a little bit if necessary. If Maxpax won't get out of the game, then Serral has a backup strategy. And +1 missile just finished, making this attack that much more brutal. Looks like Serral scouted it. No secret bases for Maxpax. GG. And that's it. Serral takes the game. Welcome to this fourth game on Airholm. We can see that the score is 2-1 in favor of Serral. Serral in that last game, pulling out a very wonderful victory against his opponent, Maxpax. Serral seems to have a multitude of strategies that he can use to take a Protoss off kilter at any time, right? So Ling run-bys on the third. That's what we've seen. Some of the things we've seen. Ling run-bys on the third. We've seen Roach timing attacks. And we've also seen map-specific cheeses. Serral, very focused on this Protoss matchup. Very focused on creating any kind of lead that he can so that he can keep Protoss from getting to their fourth base, denying, delaying as much as possible. And here we see this first glaive coming across. So far, very normal builds from both players. Serral skipping the early gas for the extra mineral lead in the beginning. Super standard. Early Stargate from our Protoss player, Maxpax. Two Adepts now here, trying to see if they can get any damage done, anything they can do to delay this Zerg army. Anything they can do to make it that much harder. One Adept sadly going down. Maxpax miss-microing just a little bit, overextending just the slightest amount. And every single little step that you give Serral, he's going to take and apply as much pressure as he can back at you. I love this. A little extra production of Lings, even sniping the probe, delaying the third even further, because if you can't get a third, how are you ever going to get a fourth? And if you can't get a fourth, can you really beat Serral? Is how it's seeming to turn out. So let's see. I wonder what kind of build we're going to see. What exactly is Maxpax going to do? Going on and adding these extra couple of gas, and actually one Evo chamber for the Zerg. So in the past we've seen one Evo chamber when we've seen missile upgrades, stuff like that. So maybe we'll see another Roach push. Seems like Roach pushes are a lot of Serrals. Even against Terran, I've noticed the Roach pushes are extremely powerful, especially with Ravagers. They're just so good. And here we have two Oracles now showing up. Extremely dangerous, very capable of killing lots of drones, even in a Spore Crawler. Let's see if some damage can get done. 2 more, 3 more. Surviving and getting out. That's 5 workers killed for Maxpax. Pretty good. Roach Warren on the way. Love to see it. Oh, but we're not seeing Missile. Very interesting. Oh, and Lings? Nope. Okay, never mind. So we're not seeing Missile. We're seeing Melee coming up and the Lair coming up. Something a little bit peculiar, because what exactly does that mean? It's a bit hard for me to tell. Also, for sure, seeing Blink. I think this just means that we're going to be seeing some kind of standard composition. We'll have to just wait and see. You know, some ranged units, some melee units, probably Bane Links. 5 gateways now, plus Blink. I imagine we're going to be seeing a lot of Blink Stalkers very soon. Sniping the Overlord. Very sad. Now, is it only 5 gateways? 6 gateways, actually. Oh, okay, here you go. The push coming across, and a Proxy pylon coming down, because this is going to be a very concerted push from our Protoss player. Serral, having not over-droned, I'm not actually too worried. Serral at 63 workers versus Maxpax 62. A very healthy amount, which means he's going to have a very healthy amount of army to hopefully defend this. Now this is a bit curious. Gateway over here. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but here we go. Protoss army pushing on to creep. Beginning the push, beginning the attack. Serral has 5 bases now, but it looks like this one's just a little bit exposed. So might not be able to keep this. And it's looking like he's not going to be able to keep it. Definitely going to make it a little bit hard. Serral looks like planning on doing some kind of counterattack. Extremely crucial because... Oh! Nope. Deciding not to. Maybe coming for the wraparound? Nope. Serral just delaying for the time being. But leaving some units on the Protoss side of the map. Just making sure that when the time comes, he'll be ready to strike. And speaking of getting ready for the time to strike, here's some banelings coming out. We'll have to see where they're going to go and keep an eye on them. There's an attack going on here. Those banelings are getting awfully close to the Protoss 3rd position. Sort of just hanging out. Very nice, very nice. 13 going down. This fight seemed like it just went pretty much evenly. Serral holding it home and also at the same time managing to do damage to the Protoss. Very important. Even sending some more Lings there, not stopping the pressure. Now this is another way to get around the Protoss, right? If you can identify that they're going for some kind of attack like this, some kind of concerted push, you can cut droning and you'll have enough units to defend at home, and you can send just a few extra to get over there to the 3rd base and do as much damage as you can. A very interesting strategy from Serral. Another way of getting around this Protoss 4-base strategy with late game Protoss. Banelings almost getting some hits. It's going to be very hard against any Blink Stalkers. Baneling speed though, halfway done. And Hydra speed. An attack up here as well. In the mineral lines. Very annoying. Banelings helping to clean that up. This attack continuing down here. Now this is going to get worse and worse because now we have Archons warping in. This attack continuing and continuing. Very equal supply for both of them. About 120, 130 supply. Just producing army repeatedly and continuously running them into each other. A daisy chain of armies running to their death. Baneling hits. Doing okay. Taking out one of the Archons. Definitely, a lot of these Protoss units are starting to have a lot of damage on them. The reinforcements for Serral is definitely going to be in his favor, considering that they're all fighting in his base right outside his front door. Reinforcement bonus. Exceptionally important in these kind of fights. Sending one Zealot up north. Oh! Maybe gonna get some damage on those drones? Very focused on the fight here instead. The army for both players continuing to whittle down, but starting to look thinner and thinner, looking less and less likely that this attack is going to actually be able to continue. Maxpax seems to have realized the same thing and might be going home soon, or maybe just waiting. Serral going for another Ling run by. And I wonder what kind of strategies we're going to see next. Maybe lurkers. Oh, Lings down here. Scouting the 4th base. Super important. Not enough units there to stop it yet, but it's going to be crucial. Or maybe we're going to see Serral somehow find a way to win against a 4-base Protoss. Definitely, the Protoss has abandoned these proxy pylons in this one gateway. I don't know why he built it out here. It's a little silly. Maybe there's some reason. I'm not super sure, though. But Storm is on the way. And both players have got to start preparing for this late game. wonder, do we have a lurker den? No lurker den yet, but maybe soon. Definitely lots of hydras and banes. The army for Serral is higher and still building army. Looks like Serral doesn't plan to stop, just wants to create another full force attack. Hydra, Ling-bane, and try to take out the Protoss. Maxpax taking the worker lead. The economy will kick off as soon as this base gets saturated. Serral's broken rocks on the way over, making a shortcut to Maxpax's third base. So many banelings running in, but splitting them so that as many of them can be spared from the storms as possible. Maxpax doing his best to stall this attack, weaken it as much as possible. Looks like Serral is going to have to retreat. 18 probes going down in the melee though. 45 for Maxpax. Actually kind of funny. The stasis released the banelings on top of the army. A little bit silly. A lot more banelings on the way. Serral not looking to finish this fight anytime soon. I wonder if there's going to be enough energy for storms this time. There might not be. And that might be just what Serral needs. Pushing once again, chasing this army away. Very nice. Thinning the army out. Looks like they're going to be able to finish off these two Archons. GG, Maxpax knows that he can't handle it. And there you go, Serral with a very thin margin, pushing that game to a victory. Welcome to the 5th game of this best of 7 series between Serral and Maxpax. 3-1. Serral only needs one more game. Maxpax is going to have to pull off a little bit of a miracle if he's going to survive. Definitely has the capability to win any of these games. Is this a... This feels like a bit of an early metabolic boost, but maybe not. Still going for the 3-hatch expand. Sorry, I skipped forward to like 2 minutes, so I'm not super sure on the timing sometimes. I don't think it's super early. But Serral definitely showing that he's still struggling against Protoss. It's not going to be easy. Not going to just out macro the Protoss or out mechanics them. Going to have to pull off some very nice reads like he has been, or find some kind of way to get the Protoss off kilter, slow them down, and then push an army across the map for the win, right? Like we saw in the last game. Now, something interesting to note is a Void Ray is coming out for Maxpax this time. Slightly different than what we've seen in previous games, where we normally see a Oracle. Now, a 3-minute and 40-second Nexus, slightly early, and it definitely looks like Serral is making a lot of Lings. I think I was right. I think that was a little bit of an early Ling metabolic speed, because this seems like a really early moment to have metabolic speed and also to have so many Lings. Serral definitely cutting on droning a little bit to make this happen. Wants to cancel this Nexus terribly. Oh. Or maybe not even cancel the Nexus? Void Ray, especially useful in this situation. Very defensive. If Serral can't make use of these Lings because of the Void Rays and the Oracle, we're going to have some problems. And this Nexus already has a lot of life, so that's a lot of Lings that aren't going to get any use out of them. Serral somehow still equal in workers. Very fortunate that it's working out exactly this way. We do have Lair on the way. And now we see Twilight Council and a Forge. and a few more gateways. Maybe blink stalkers? I don't know what it means when they also have a forge. Link's just running around and scouting, mostly. Oracle attacking the hatchery. Not sure exactly why. Yeah, looks like it's going to be blink stalkers and +1 attack. Yeah, that makes sense. Has there been any damage done? Yeah, Maxpax has killed a single drone. Not a lot of damage, but Serral did build a few too many links, so it's kind of like you killed a couple drones already. Serral now, though, has been droning pretty aggressively, up to 67, caught up, and even took a bit of the lead. Hydralisk Den coming down. And +1 missile. Maybe we'll see... maybe we'll see more roaches. Or maybe we'll see... I keep saying it, but, like... I mean... So here's the thing is, like... I don't know. For a long time, it's like hydras were super useless, but then they got some buffs recently, and I remember in Heart of the Storm when I played, hydralisks were actually like pretty good. Like there were like a lot of timing attacks with hydralisks, and we did see kind of an attack with the hydralisk before, but I think it was kind of like impromptu, you know, kind of like flow of the moment kind of thing. It wasn't like a planned thing, but this might actually be a hydralisk push, because you don't make this many hydras if you're going into... Oh, and here's the stalker army already here. But yeah, you don't make this many hydras if you're just going to be building lurkers. Maybe hydras are just the choice against these blink stalkers. I definitely prefer them because the range just makes it so much easier. It kind of like nullifies the micro. Serral pushing across the map, definitely intending to go for a very serious attack. And here we go, here's the whole army. Quite large. Actually, killing that adept, breaking through the front. Having to mass recall onto the secondary nexus. Serral already in here. And Serral going into the third base. Serral attacking from every single side, just going for this very aggressive push, trying to get behind these mineral lines to just kill as many probes as he can. Little force field. Killing the pylon, neutralizing parts of the gateways. Maxpax is in serious danger. Maxpax can't produce out of two of his gateways now. Every single unit becomes that much more important. Once this immortal gets out, it's going to be very helpful, but these are hydralisks, not roaches. They are not armored. Pushing the Zerg army out, but now the Zerg army rotates over, attacking the third. Already, 21 probes going down. This is massive damage. Maxpax is going to need a miracle to survive this, and he thinks that he can't. GG, Serral takes the entire series. Serral somehow showing up and showing that maybe he hasn't solved Protoss, but maybe he solved Maxpax. A very great game. GG. And I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was pretty fun. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.